people nowadays actually wants to grab a job abroad, and there are huge opportunities, I understand. And maybe you are somebody who are actually applying to different job positions and you think that you are a perfect fit for this role, but still you are getting all of this automated rejection emails. I get this feeling, guys. More than 80% of the European companies actually use applicant tracking system in the first round of scanning the resumes of the applicants. Only 10% of the resumes actually reach to any human recruiters. Namaste and hello everybody. I'm Shramana Das, making videos on higher education abroad, careers abroad, jobs abroad. So basically, if you are somebody who is looking to make your career global, then this video and this channel is definitely today's for video. I'm going to talk about what is applicant tracking system, how the ATS system works, how you should make your CV so that it will be easy for the ATS to scan your CV, and also some tips and tricks. And at the last, I am also going to give you some bonus points which you cannot miss. So watch this video till the end, and do not forget to subscribe this video and share this video with your friends and families. So without any further ado, let's start this video. First of all, let's talk about how you should make your CV. What are the do's and the don'ts? So basically, whenever you are applying to any job applications in Europe, the European companies generally believe or prefer the old school method. In my last one-to-one sessions and the workshops, I have seen people actually making some super fancy CVs which will not help you to land up a dream job role abroad. So here are some of the things that you definitely should follow when you are creating your CV. आप कोई CV create कर रहे हो, do not use any random template or any random application to create your CV. You should create your CV in basic Word format. Second point, no colorful or fancy formatting. Yes, it's not required. I have seen so many times people using different types of colorful CVs like this. It won't work. ATS cannot scan colors. So please make the things easy for a applicant tracking system. It's a robot. So yes, so you can only make your CV in black and white formatting only. So no more colors. Third, use the formal or the official fonts only, like Times New Roman, Arial. Use the size of 10 to 12. You can also use the bold letters when you are writing the headlines. UK CV, the professional photo is not mandatory, but for other European countries, a professional photo in your CV is mandatory, is must. So you cannot miss your it. CV should not be more than 2 pages. If you are somebody who is highly experienced, then you can definitely make your CV maximum up to 2 pages. Or else I will highly suggest that make your CV in 1 or 1.5 page. That's it. Nobody has so much time that if you make 3-4 page CV, they will go and read so much. So it's easy, and it's always good to make your CV in a small format so that it's easy for the HRs to scan whatever skill sets you have. Whenever you are applying to any job applications, always convert your Word format CV into PDF and apply to the job application. Now let's talk about what are the details you should put in your CV. So let's start with the basics first. The first and the foremost thing that should be in your CV is your professional DP, as I already mentioned. It should be a professional picture. Second thing should be your personal information, which includes your name, your address, your LinkedIn profile link, your phone number, and your email ID. Now, if you are somebody who are from tech domain or maybe a developer, you can also mention your GitHub link. And if you are from marketing domain or from some non-tech domain, you can also put your portfolio link if something is available. Second thing that you should mention in your CV is the professional work summary. Now, what is this? This is basically a summary of all your skill sets or roles and responsibilities and everything. 80% of the time, I have seen people writing their professional summary in a single paragraph, which will not actually help you. You have to write everything in CV in bullet points, in short and crisp sentences. So whenever you are writing your professional summary, write that also in bullet points. One thing you must mention in your professional summary is your work, how many years of work experience you have. So if you have 5+ years of work experience, you should write that I have 5+ years of work experience. You also should mention from which domain you are, what are your demanding skill sets, and also some keywords from the job description. I will come to this later on. After you have written your professional summary, the second headline should be your work experience and your internship. It should be in the reverse chronological order. That means your current work experience should be in the first, followed by all others. And trust me guys, always write the most relevant keywords in your work experience, in your first work experience, basically the current one, because the HR or any hiring manager will be interested in your recent work experience and not the older ones. One pro tip here, that recruiters basically hire those candidates who actually show strong knowledge in their domain. So always write that from which domain you are, what are the skills you have in that particular domain. Whenever you are writing your work experience, try to use different types of action verbs. Never use passive voice sentences. Always use active voice sentences and try to use different kinds of action verbs. Like if you are proficient in SQL, Unix, don't only write that you are proficient in SQL, you are proficient in Unix. It shows a repetitive of the same kind of verb, which is not at all attractive. So instead of that, you can actually use different kind of verbs like worked, communicate, led the team, etc. and etc. That will actually show whatever skill sets you have, what type of work you have done. Whenever you are writing your work experience, always try to follow this method of PAR. P is equal to problem, A is equal to action you have taken, and R is the resolution. So basically you can always mention what is the problem you actually faced, what is the approach you have taken, and what is the resolution that happened. Now, if it's possible, also try to mention some quantifiable skill set. Now, what is quantifiable skill set? Basically, if you have worked on something that will actually increase the revenue of the company or decrease the capex, or maybe did some enhancement which actually reduce the SLA or the timings of some particular actions, if you have some concrete numbers, then you can always mention that. It is one of the very good point, and it will actually help the recruiters to understand that okay, you had worked on some concrete things. For an example, like here, I have mentioned that reduce the SLA from 20 minutes to 22 minutes. So it actually shows that what kind of work I have done and what impact it have. Once you have mentioned all your work experience, after that you have to mention your technical skill set. I have seen many people writing the technical skill set like this without any grouping. It's very, very important to group your skills. So if you have any process knowledge, then write process knowledge and what are the skill sets you have. If you have some programming language knowledge, write programming language and then write whatever skill sets you have. So you can always group your skill set like this, and it will actually help the recruiter to understand what kind of knowledge you have. And it also shows a bit of professionalism in your CV. Third point will be your educational experience. You can simply write all your educational details, that your master's degree, bachelor's degree, whatever degrees you have. Now, if you have good grades, you can also mention your grades here. After that, it will be certifications. So whatever certifications you have done, you can put it there. After that, it will be your achievements. It is an optional point. If you think that there are some achievements that actually adds value to the resume, definitely mention it. Or else don't mention things like that you got first prize in a dancing competition in school. Don't mention all these things. If you got some pat back awards, or if you have joined any seminar, or maybe you had you got awarded as one of the best employee in your last organization, do mention all of these things as achievements in your CV. And the last and the foremost thing is your signature, which is must in any European format CV. So this is how a CV looks like whenever you are applying to any companies in Europe. Now let's come to what is ATS. ATS is applicant tracking system. As I told you, 80% of the European companies actually use applicant tracking system to scan your CV. So basically क्या होता है उसमें कि जब भी आप कोई जॉब के लिए अप्लाई करते हो, द bunch of CVs will go through ATS, and the ATS has some parameters which are set by the recruiters. So they basically just put some keywords, and ATS is not a human being, so it will just check that whether you have these keywords in your CV or not. More the keywords it will find, it will give you a more percentage of match, and your CV will be selected for the second round. But yes, if your CV does not have the exact keywords, it will automatically move to the rejection bundle, and that's when you are getting all this automated rejection emails. So that's why it's very, very important to create your CV according to the job description, and that's why I always say that there is no single perfect CV. Every time you have to change your CV, tailor your CV according to the job description. And also, ATS is something that cannot scan colors, fancy formats, and that's why I also mentioned that you should not use all this kind of things and follow the traditional old school method. So now, whenever you are applying for a job description, suppose this one, you should read your job description thoroughly and see what are the different type of keywords that they actually asked. One is how many years of work experience you have. So maybe you have 5 years of work experience, but you have not mentioned the numerical number 5 anywhere in your CV. The ATS is not a human being. It will not read your CV to understand how many years of work experience you have. You have to mention the numeric number 5, then only it will understand that, okay, this person have this number of experience, so this is a match, that is a tick. Now, if you don't mention it, it will automatically give you a negative signal and your CV will go to the rejection bundle. So that's why it's one of the must thing to do. Second, try to highlight the keywords that is there in the job description. The skill sets that you don't have, you cannot put in your CV. But there are some skill sets, like suppose for an example, SQL. Now you have written in your CV that you are proficient or you have worked with MySQL. But in the job description, it's written maybe only SQL. Now, if you don't change your MySQL to SQL, it will be a problem. It will again go not match with the job description. The ATS cannot understand this. So you have to write the exact keywords. So these are very silly mistake due to which also your CV is not getting selected. So next time, whenever you are applying for any job application, do not use the same CV to all the job applications. It will not help you. Every time go to the job description, check what are the keywords, technical skill sets they mentioned, and try to put the exact keywords as much as possible in your CV. And let me tell you one thing, no recruiters will expect that you have 100% match, but try to have at least 60 to 70% match, then only your CV will pass through it. Now, one more important thing, never ever use any type of complex formatting, tables, rows to write your skill sets in your CV. Do not use any kind of headers and footers also in your CV. These things will also not be scanned by the ATS. So do not use all this kind of things in your CV if you want to make your CV pass through ATS as well. Now, as I told you at the last that I'm going to give you a bonus tip. If you have seen this video until this, then do not forget to subscribe this channel and like my video and share this as well. The last bonus tip is there is a tool called Job Scan. It's not a sponsored video, guys. So this is a tool which will actually tell you that how much your CV is complying to the job description. So what you have to do is that you have to go to the website, paste your CV or upload your CV, and also you have to paste the job description and start scanning, and it will actually tell you how much percentage match it have and what are the things that you are missing. So maybe you are missing any skill sets, maybe you are missing the title match, maybe you have not mentioned your address or anything. So if there is a possibility of improvement, you can definitely improve it in your CV, and this is one of the good way and best way to make your CV ATS compliant. But this is a time taking process and it's not possible to do for all the job applications you will do. I honestly don't use ATS job scan that much. I only do whenever I'm applying for any of my dream company, and that's all. But if you follow all the things that I told you today, that go through the job description, try to put as much as keywords in your CV, use word format, do not use any type of complex formatting, you are good to go, guys. I am here in Germany for last 2 years, switched 4 companies till date and got multiple interviews. Actually consulted more than 200 students for their CV review, cover letter review. So trust me, you will get this. And let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts. And if you have any doubts with your CV or jobs abroad or study abroad, you can always book my slot. The details are there in the description below. That's all for today, guys. Hope you all like this video. So bye-bye. Stay happy, stay blessed.